Yatirajaya Vivekananda Surai Sachit Sukha Swarupaya Swamini Tapaharini. Am I audible?
Yes, Maharaj.
Fine, thank you. So, warm good morning to you all. So, at the outset, congratulations to all the winners. I feel it is my privilege and my blessing to interact with you all, to meet you all. You all have read the Ramayana thoroughly to, attain the position that you have attained, attain the rank that you have attained. So you are full of Rama spirit. So you are worthy of my worship now. You have become modern Ramas. So again, congratulations, hearty congratulations. So I have received a few questions. Aaryajanani Trust Vice Chairman Dr. Anupama Amma sent. I have gone through all the questions, the gist of, time may not permit actually to answer all the questions in detail. But the three important questions that come out. Actually, the first question is, many people have asked this question. What is the purpose of life? So there are existential issues. Now they are bothering people more than, anything else. Young people are asking such questions because they feel actually life is so boring, so dull and so insipid. And they are actually struggling to figure out what is the purpose of life, why we are here, the way we are here, why did God create the world? See, we all know actually the life of all great saints. The modern saint Swami Vivekananda had this question in his mind: does God exist? Okay, even the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, is saying you have to have a question first, right? You have to have a question, and that question must be a great question, and seek an answer to that question and deep in that quest or whatever it may be. Then slowly, you will be able to use all your energies and potential to the fullest extent possible. So the Swamiji had this question: does God exist? Why did he need God in the first place? Because he looked around. All around he saw only suffering. And then the question arises as who has created the world? So we all say God has created the world. After all, we have not done it. We are part of the creation. We are not the creator. So now, if God has created the world, why he has created such a defective world? He has not done a perfect job. He could have done it better. That was the kind of, thinking which Vivekananda had. So he would ask everybody, anybody would speak about God, he would go to that person and ask him, sir, you're talking about God, have you experienced God? So he first went to Rabindranath Tagore's father because he was giving spiritual discourses in those days. So he said that he did not give a direct reply to Vivekananda's question. He said that your eyes are actually yogi's eyes, looking like. Vivekananda said that is not an answer to my question. Sir, you're talking about God, you're speaking about God. Have you seen God? Have you known God? Then, one of his cousins actually afterwards directed him to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. If you're so keen about knowing God, there's one person in Dakshineshwar, outskirts of Calcutta, so who always talks about God, thinks about God. You may give a satisfactory answer to your question. Then Vivekananda goes there. And Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa answers him, oh, my child, I see the God the way I see you. As I see God as clearly as I see you. But who wants God in this world? Who really seeks God? That's the answer he had given. The thing is, God has created the world, we all know that. But what is the purpose? Why did he create the world? God has no purpose in creating this world. Purpose presupposes imperfection, right? If God has done something, because without doing something, actually, if he doesn't exist, he cannot exist, or he cannot make himself fulfilled, then God is also imperfect. So Rishis have concluded, have found out that God has no purpose in creating this universe. It is just his play and lila. He just felt like creating something out of his own energy. Okay, he created it. You cannot have the question why, because the question why presupposes that he is bound by somebody, something else, some other law. He is also conditioned. He is not free. Because God is free, he exercises his free will, that's all. He is actually a manifestation of his own power, his own intelligence, his own genius. Why did he do it actually? Just out of fun, out of leela, out of sport. There is nothing for him actually to gain by creating this world. And without this world also he exists perfectly. Just what he felt like playing with himself, and then out of his own energy, he has conceived this universe. So there is no purpose for God in creating this universe. Then what is our purpose in life? See, our purpose in life is to know God. God has no purpose in creating this world, but we have a purpose. What is that purpose? To know God and to seek God. Why should we seek God? Because only by attaining to God, actually, we will be able to attain that fulfillment which we are hoping for. Okay, which we are actually, that is the ultimate goal of life. Where you reach a point, then you don't have to achieve anything further. Thereafter, there's nothing more to achieve. Thereafter, there's nothing more to know. Thereafter, actually, you're totally fulfilled. That kind of fulfillment we are all seeking. That's why these questions come to us. All these questions about the purpose of life, the existential issues are because of that. What is death? We don't know. It's still a mystery for most of us. Okay, for all of us, for the purpose. So the goal is to know God. Why our rishis and sages have asked us to know God? Because that's the total fulfillment. You will not have any questions thereafter. You are complete. You have become complete. You have become perfect. Now there are two things for us. One is creator and another is creation. Creation is eternally imperfect. There cannot be two perfections. God is perfect. His creation is imperfect. You may ask how something which has come from perfect God can be imperfect. Imperfect in the sense this is relative. God is absolute. Okay, this is time and space. God is beyond time and space. So that which is beyond time and space actually is beyond relativity, and that's why it is absolute. That is perfect. From that perfect God, perfect creator, an imperfect world has come. Our people prefer to call it Maya. So this is Maya. So this Maya is temporary. This is transient. It is constantly changing. So from this constantly changing Maya world, just a minute. Sorry for the interruption. So God has no purpose in this world, but we all have a purpose, that is to know God and to seek God. Now there are two things, creator and the creation. So we are the best among the created things. There are inanimate things and animate things, sentient and insentient. We know actually, compared to insentient beings and sentient beings, actually the creatures that have life are superior. Among the creatures that have life, from plants, from amoeba to actually human beings, we are on the top of the pyramid. We all know that. So we alone have the intellect. We alone have the capacity to actually crack the mystery of the universe and to find out actually the creator. So that's what God's expectation from us, the best of his creation. So we have to be in that journey only. In fact, we all are in that journey only. Unconsciously, we are traveling towards the truth. All the mystics, all the sages, all the prophets, all the incarnations, all the messengers of God come in our midst and tell us that you consciously seek the truth. Now you're unconsciously seeking. That's why life has become so painful. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, human birth has only one purpose. Okay, that is to know God. So making for, provide for our basic necessities of life. Today, it takes all our time and all our energy. I just ask you a simple question. Today, 20 to 25 years of our education is to just make both ends meet. Okay, to provide for the basic survival, to provide for the basic necessities of life. So do we have to struggle so much? Suppose you have not gone to school, you have not gone to college. You will save some 20 years of effort, right? In that 20 years, how much we can do for God and to know God, you just imagine. So if you are not educated yourself, you can actually open a bakery. It doesn't require much education, right? Or you can open a tiffin center. I'm just saying, it doesn't need much education, much intelligence, much genius. right? Just for survival, to make both ends meet, just to earn them 30 to 40,000 or 50,000. A Stephen Center wall also today we know that 50,000, 40,000 he earns. If he, places his Stephen Center in right place, what genius required, what education is required just for survival's sake, I say. So you have saved 20 years of time, 20 years of best part of your life, 20 years of energy, 20 years of intelligence for God's sake. That's what Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa did. He didn't go to school. His brother had asked, no, how will you survive? No, I don't take it that seriously. God will provide for me because He is providing for subhuman species also. He is providing for ants, He is providing for worms, He is providing for birds. Will He not provide for mine? So He will provide. For me, actually, I don't have that worry at all. I don't want to go to school. He refused because these schools only teach us about actually the survival, material life and nothing else about God. He has understood, he rejected, actually did not go to school, in fact. So where did he invest all his time and energy? He invested only to know the truth, right? And he became a mystic, incarnation of God, and only talked about God afterwards. And Swami Vivekananda, the greatest prophet of modern India, he just went and sat at his feet and learned his lessons. So these fundamentals are not clear with our society today. That is the reason our society is in a mess, for that matter. So now many questions are there. Okay, some of the questions I just so one question is, how to overcome the feeling of being judged all the time, right? So why should we actually be concerned about this? We have to live life on our own terms. Okay, we should have that courage to live life on our own terms. Let people say whatever they want to say. Okay, we have to follow our own conscience. We have to follow our own conscience. We have to follow our own inner voice, right? We have no obligation towards the society. Society, Swamiji says, even Albert Einstein has said, majority and multitude counts for nothing, Swamiji said. Okay, Albert Einstein makes a great statement. He says, in order to become an immaculate member of a flock of sheep, one must above all be a sheep, right? Society is always like that. Mediocre people, majority of them are mediocre only. And now actually you are seeking membership in that mediocre club. So what you have to actually, even if you have the capacity to become a lion, to reduce yourself, make yourself into a sheep, and then actually seek membership in the society. So that's the problem. In order to become a member of a flock of sheep, one must above all be a sheep. Yes, Albert Einstein's statement. It's a very profound statement. Today we are all doing like that. Suppose we are also, okay, like Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, we had the courage to follow our own inner voice, we all would become God in no time. We all have the potential. We all actually are tomorrow's Buddhas. What did Buddha do? Actually, the father asked him, to sit on the throne. He wanted to pass on the mantle. The 2006 years back, a great personality was born in this soil. Are we trying to walk the footsteps of such great people? Our own culture has produced. Buddha is not a historical figure. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is a historical figure. They are not from mythology, right? So what did he do? When his father had asked him actually to take the throne, he refused because he wanted to know the truth. What is actually his idea of truth? There is suffering in the world. So Buddha wanted to find out the root cause of suffering. And what did he discover ultimately? Trishna actually is responsible for the suffering in the world. You conquer Trishna and you will get established in the happiness, bliss and bliss of nirvana. So the truth is within you. And so just he conquered desire and just wanted to see what would happen. Otherwise, if we just look at our mind, so many thoughts are coming, unwanted thoughts. We don't want those thoughts, but they're coming. This is slavery. My thoughts are not in my control. My mind is not in my control. Why should I suffer this slavery? When you have this question, and you deepen this question, and then you'll come to spiritual path automatically. So you will not worry about survival because you are on spiritual path. Actually, you are God. You'll become VIP for God. Okay, your basic necessities, to take care of your basic necessities is his responsibility. In fact, he takes care of everybody else. But somehow, from the day the child is born, from the day actually child turns 3 or 4, parents actually try to infuse this fear in the child. Suppose the child actually has gone to school and actually progress report has come, he is not scoring well. The parents say that, how will you survive, my child? You are not getting good marks, you are not getting good score, okay? How you will survive? Slowly, 10 times you ask the same thing. He is not scoring well, he is not getting good grades. What happens? The child will get demoralized. Obviously, because there actually child is compared with the fellow students actually. That's why it's happening. Slowly, actually, you're inculcating a fear. Oh, survival is such a big thing. Okay, today we have made that. Because of this kind of education, survival actually is weighing heavily upon our heads. It has become such a huge thing, unfortunately. But you just look at other animals. You look at the forest, actually. A lion comes off its den in the morning. Okay. Do you see any stress on its face? Will I get my food today or not? Absolutely no stress, right? It just moves into the forest, roams around, it finds its prey, comes back to its den, and nicely sleeps. It doesn't store any food for tomorrow. The same with every creature. And this is an affront to human dignity. God has created with us with this kind of cerebral capacity, with this kind of intelligence. Today, survival, basic survival has become such a huge issue for us. Whereas for no other animal, okay, our other kith and kin, actually, they are our kith and kin. They are our lower brothers. But absolutely, actually, they are not so concerned. And they are living with greater confidence that my creator, my father, actually, the creator of the universe, has a responsibility to take care of my basic needs. And animals are living with greater confidence than the human being. I am saying these words consciously, okay? So today, actually, we think with all our boast of great universities, great technological universities, great management universities, basic survival we have complicated to such an extent. I'm saying that if you don't step into the school, 15 to 20 years of lifetime, actually, precious lifetime, that time and energy, if you invest in seeking the truth, you'll become a Buddha. We all have, but actually all that potentially thwarted, all that potentially destroyed by the conventional education because parents are afraid. Survival. As if survival is such an important thing and such a big thing. And for human beings of this cerebral capacity, this intelligence. So we are all living in a living in a distorted world. We'll need to understand, we need to go back to our fundamentals. So some other question, one is the purpose of life. Why, how to, overcome the feeling of being judged all the time. See, nobody has time to judge you. Even if you judge, that is their botheration, and you don't have to look at that. You just live on your own terms, follow your own conscience, follow your own inner voice, whatever it says, listen to that. Your inner voice is nothing but the voice of your higher self, voice of God. Follow the voice of God, and your life will become blessed. So another question, some of the questions are actually how to balance this mundane goals and also the spiritual goal. So I'm saying that actually there's no dichotomy. There's nothing like mundane and there is nothing like spiritual. Okay, they are not two separate things as we assume or presume that. So our worldly goals are different from our spiritual goals. What I'm saying is that spirituality is basically is a kind of empowerment. It helps us to enhance our competencies. It helps us to achieve greater focus of mind. It helps us to balance our emotions. When your thoughts are in your control, okay, when you have clarity in life about the purpose of your existence, then actually you will not have too much of negative thought. You will not have too much of negative emotion. So as a human being, this instrument's efficiency will go up. And when you have greater focus and greater concentration, and even cracking these mundane goals won't be that difficult for you. So the fundamental thing is that how we need to interact with our fellow human beings. What is our connection with other life forms? We are all actually, our life is one. That's why actually the fundamental and core philosophy of our nation is Advaita, non-duality. It is one God, it is one truth, which is manifesting through these multiple forms. All forms are His. So it's basically God interacting with God. When you have this kind of consciousness, when you bring this Advaita into your daily life and you try to put that into practice, what happens? Because you don't look at a human being as a human being. He or she becomes a manifestation of the divine. You are a manifestation of the divine, and they are also manifestations of the divine. So the quality of your interaction with your fellow human beings will significantly change. Now, what distorts our psyche is this idea that all people who are around me are my competitors. Unless I compete with them, there is no survival for me. This is a wrong idea that has been inculcated into the psyche of the nation because we read too much into this Darwin's theory of evolution. What Darwin said? Darwin said that in any ecosystem, the resources are always few compared to the number of the individuals. So for those limited resources, there will be fierce struggle and competition between the individuals of the same species. And he said, which actually the fittest will survive and the natural selection will happen. That's what he says. But Swami Vivekananda said that this Darwin's theory of evolution is applicable only to animals. It is true in the animal world. Okay, the fittest will survive. That which has greater strength, that which has greater reproductive capacity will survive. But when it comes to human beings, it's not that by competing with your fellow human beings, you will become great. For example, people like Buddha or Mahatma Gandhi, did they compete with their fellow human beings? Okay, they did not, right? They sacrificed their life for the sake of their fellow human beings, and in the process, they became Mahatmas. Through competition, we will not grow. Competition actually creates this sense of insecurity, creates fear, it distorts our psyche, and it helps us it makes us generate more of negative emotions and more negative thought, more fear, more jealousy, more envy, all these things will come. So this is what is happening in our society. We feel the pressure of population also. So from time immemorial, our culture is through renunciation, you will attain immortality. Tyage naikya amrtatva manashuhu. Otherwise, tyaga will become very painful. Renunciation and dispassion will become painful if you don't understand what it will take you, what it will lead to you. Today, this Ramayana you have thoroughly studied, and some of the questions are there. What is the best part? Just a minute. Very sorry for the interruption. They're asking me, actually, there is a concluding function going on for this Jap Sadhana here at Vijayawada, where I am now. So they want me to be there for the concluding function also. I thought actually there is no such concluding function, but they have not informed me in advance. Okay, because I have reserved my time for this program. This is more important than the concluding program for me. Right. So Rama, to understand what helped Rama, okay, that we all actually worship Rama as great hero. Why did he become our hero? We just see, the announcement that was made. Next day, he was to be coronated, and then actually news came that he has to go to the forest. So there is coronation, there is exile. So for 14 years. It's a kind of shock, right? But in that such a situation, in our lifetime also, many challenges we have to pass through. Definitely hardships will come, troubles will come. If you just try to compare your trouble and hardship with that of Rama, how did he respond in such a situation? How we would have responded if we were in Rama's situation? See, he did not hate Kaikeyi, he did not hate Manthara. That actually the greatest hero. Entire Ayodhya hated Kaikeyi. So all the people in the palace hated Kaikeyi and Manthara, and including her own son Bharata. But Rama was the only person who did not hate Kaikeyi. What understanding he must have had, that helped him actually to respond the way he had responded. Because Rama, the whole universe he saw acted actually as play of the Lord. Actually, humans are, for that matter, any individual has no free will. Okay, everybody has to act according to the will of that cosmic, providence. And Kaikeyi also, Mother Kaikeyi also, helplessly playing her role. See, the greatest understanding our rishis has is this. This world is only a drama. The director is actually God. His script is perfect. There cannot be any mistake in his script. So, till the other day, actually, Mother Kaikeyi loved him so much. Suddenly, actually, she is okay. So she is helplessly playing her role. Okay. As the divine director has given the script, according to the script, she is acting. So she did not find fault with her because he could see that she was helplessly playing her role in this great drama of life. So we actually immediately, generally we get attached to, coronation means that's a great thing, Yeah, so it's a great success and victory. You will have a lot of power and respect and other things. But Rama never looked at life like that. Life is nothing but series of events, right? It's nothing but series of events. Don't classify them something as, success, something as failure. The moment you classify something as success and failure, you will always covet success and you will try to avoid failure as much as possible. So success comes, you get elated, and failure comes, you get, dejected and depressed. But he just saw life as series of events. Okay, he did not classify them as success or failure or positive or negative. He just wanted to see life as it unfolds. So let me see what it unfolds, how it unfolds. So it did not shock him. Okay, the news that he has to go to the forest for 14 years, and he did not hate even Manthara or Kaikeyi. They were playing their roles helplessly. So he just went to the forest. So the thing that helped him actually to respond the way he had responded, you all have to read Yoga Vasishta. When he was 16, Rama actually had gone on a pilgrimage to all the pilgrimage places in Bharatavarsha. And after coming back, actually, in the palace, he was not showing interest in anything. He was not interested to get trained. He was not even interested to take food, actually. He was not taking his bath also. So Dasharatha was really worried. What happened to my Rama? So he had gone on a pilgrimage and he has come back, and now actually he would not take interest in anything. And that worried him a lot. And then he asked Vashishta, and Vashishta says that you don't get worried. And Vishwamitra also comes there. Then Vishwamitra asks Vashishta to impart him the formal knowledge. Rama had the enlightenment, and now actually he has few more doubts and questions. You just clear them actually, then he will be established in himself. So that actually conversation between Vashishta and Rama is called Vashishta Ramayana, Yoga Vashishta. So that's a beautiful book which has 6 prakaranas. The first prakarana is Vairagya Prakarana. Prakarana is on dispassion. That's so beautiful. As young people, you all have to read that Vairagya Prakarana from Yoga Vashishta. From where did Rama derive his strength to respond the way he had responded in Ramayana? We see so many situations. Okay, why he has become the hero of the land? Because of that. Life may throw whatever it wants at you, okay, at me, but there will not be any negative thought. There will not be any negative emotion from my side. Absolutely. Because I have no stakes in the world. World cannot trouble my peace. World cannot disturb me. World cannot harm my interest because I have no interest of my own. So that dispassion helped him actually to withstand all the shocks that he had received in life with ease, with calmness, with composure, and without losing his peace of mind. Terrible situations, right? So we think actually our problems are so big. Whenever you think actually that whenever you are, uh, if you feel like actually your problems are too heavy or difficult for you to solve, you just compare yourself with Rama's situations, okay, the events that he had to pass through, a situation that he had to pass through. You will understand in no time that your worry or your problem is no problem at all. So even that is the reason actually it's very important that you need to read the Yoga Vashishta, particularly the first prakarana, which is on dispassion. You want to read others, better actually. That is the ultimate knowledge. In my opinion, it surpasses even the Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Vashishta, though it's not that popular in our society. But that's the greatest book that is under the sun that has ever been written under the sun. There is a conversation between two enlightened human beings, Rama and Vashishta. It reads like a novel, but it's absolute truth. What is said there? What is said there is the whole universe. The God has not done any creation as such. Okay, this world is Maya. This world of name and form is not real. Then Rama asks the question, but I experience it. If it's not real, how do I experience? Then Vashishta says, you experience it because of mind. And then Rama asks them, then the mind is real. When the mind is real, the world is also real. Then Vashishta says, no, Rama, mind is not real. Mind is an inferior projection of consciousness. It is an aberration in consciousness. That aberration has happened accidentally. So retrace your steps back and you will find that actually it is ego on which actually our desire, on which the mind sustains. You face the ego, drop the ego, and then you will get the bliss of nirvana. You will get established in consciousness, supreme consciousness. That is your true nature. That is your real self. Once you attain that, you become one with the creator, you become one with the infinite. So that is actually the summum bonum of life. That is our highest blessing, to go back to our own existence, to go back to the source of our own being. So how do you that? There is one question here, how to curb ego, how to reduce ego. You will be able to curb your ego, you will be able to reduce ego only when you understand. By dropping the ego, you will get enlightenment, you will become one with the creator. That's actually the supreme fulfillment of life. Otherwise, ego doesn't yield. So it's a catch-22 situation. Catch-22 situation means here, only when you apprehend the higher reality, ego will actually allow itself to be, dropped. Or only when the ego is dropped, you will be able to see the higher reality. So it's like hen first or egg first. Okay, seed first, the tree first. Without seeing the absolute, actually, the highest, actually, you won't be able to drop the ego. And without dropping the ego or, desire, actually, you won't be able to see the highest. So the both things should go on parallelly. Okay. So it's very, very important to convince the ego that its dissolution is not total annihilation, not actually that you will lose your complete identity or existence. It is expanding into that universal existence, which is our real nature, real personality. It's not actually dissolution in the sense it's not actually destruction. It is actually expansion into the infinite. But ego fears that dissolution. Ego fears that. That's the reason it, holds on to small, petty things of life like grim death all the time. It holds on to these things, some identity. What is my identity? No, you drop all the identities. You are in nirvana. You are the absolute. You're one with the supreme. So that's actually the goal of life. And for that, actually, dharma actually is the tool. Dharma is the, our support. Why we have the Chaturveda Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Today in our society too, we don't take Moksha as the ultimate goal of life. So we are not interested in Dharma. Okay, then Artha and Kama become supremely important for human beings. And then because all other people around you are interested only in Artha and Kama, and you also will be interested in Artha Kama, just like the people around. We need to understand the people around, they are in confusion. They don't have clarity on life. Why should I follow? Actually, why should I try to imitate them? So we have to define life on our own terms. Our rishis and our scriptures actually give us best guidance as to the purpose of life, objective of life, and how to reach that objective. So the Ramayana in that way actually is kind of a great manual for us, how we have to lead, how we have to conduct ourselves in our day-to-day life. So the thing is, what we see the most striking feature, a quality in Rama actually, is truthfulness. Why he was so passionate, why he was so particular about practicing the truth. Because, there in the Mahabharata, there is a statement, Santo hi satyena nayanti suryaha. That Yama's conversation with Yama, actually, Savitri says this, Santo hi satyena nayanti suryaha. The sun actually shines actually because of the truthfulness of the sadhus. So because of the truthfulness of the spiritual seekers. If they actually don't hold on to truthfulness, actually, the universe will not survive. The universe will collapse. So that is the reason actually Rama was so particular about actually practicing the truthfulness. We all know actually Satyameva Jayate Nanrutam, though we don't care to put that into practice, but that is an Upanishadic statement. That's an eternal statement. Satyameva Jayate Nanrutam. Vivekananda also beautifully says, hold on to truth, you will succeed. Maybe slowly, but surely. So we'll have enduring success. Of course, circumstances are not actually favorable to practice truthfulness. But we all know, we all have studied the story of Satya Harishchandra. Okay, in and most trying circumstances, how he was adhering to truthfulness and truth. So he should provide us that inspiration. Because Satya Harishchandra also, belongs to that Ikshvaku lineage only, right? The same Ikshvaku lineage only. He belongs to the same lineage which Rama belongs to. So the thing is, why he was so particular about practicing truthfulness? In fact, actually, Mother Kaikeyi, before actually giving Mother Kaikeyi's hand in marriage to Dasharatha, her father actually extracts actually a promise from Dasharatha that my daughter's son should become the king of Ayodhya. At that point of time, Dasharatha says yes. Afterwards, Dasharatha has forgotten that. Like Kaikeyi has forgotten that. Everybody has forgotten. But the will, the providence, because the lineage is so particular, truthfulness, one word has come out of the king of the Ikshvaku, it must happen. Because never before, no other king actually who has preceded Dasharatha, okay, had gone back on their pledge, reneged on their pledge. Okay, never before actually, no other king who has preceded actually Dasharatha actually had gone back on their words, and they never actually spoke a word of untruthfulness. Even Dasharatha says to, mother Kaikeyi, Raghukula Riti Sada Chiliyayi, Pranajaye, Pravachana Najayi. The students from Hindi belt, they all know actually. This is from Tulsidas, okay? The Ramayana. Dasharatha says this too. Raghukul Riti Sada Chaliyayi. Okay. Vachana Najayi. You may lose your life, but your word will not. You will not go back on our word. That he has said, but that is the reason actually, because his father should not actually become the first king in Ikshvaku lineage who did not keep his promise, who had actually reneged on his promise. That's why Rama, somebody had asked the question, is it so important to keep our vows? Okay, sometimes actually it gives pain to so many people. Can't we be little relaxing and can't we be, giving up on one woe? By actually giving up on one woe, we'll be able to, save many people from experiencing some kind of suffering. No, suffering actually is intrinsic to life. We should not worry about suffering. What should we worry about? The truthfulness. Are we truthful in our conduct, in our day-to-day activities of life? How much? To what extent? See, Rama and people like Satya Harishchandra are great role models. We may not be able to become Satya Harishchandra. We may not be able to put truth, as much as Rama could put into practice, but they are our role models. We must struggle as much as we could. Okay. The Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also in this age, just 150 years back, it had happened. He said that anything I would give out, he had given everything to God except this truthfulness. He said, I cannot give this. Okay. And also he said that in Kali Yuga, that is the greatest tapas that you can do. Many people are actually not serious about this, but they do not really know the power of truthfulness. As Mahatma Gandhi, as a small kid, actually, he happened to see the drama of Satya Harishchandra. Then after seeing that drama created such an indelible impression in him that this Satya Harishchandra is my role model. He just took up two ideals, right? Truthfulness and non-violence. And you just see the kind of character that manifested through one lean and, lanky human being. So how much he could actually impact the world. That is the power of truth. Most of us really not convinced of the power and potential of these ideas. That's why we don't care to put them into practice. Definitely, actually, times are against us, but we must not give up, on these great ideas. They should become our, primary practicing them, putting them into practice to the best of our ability. We must try. The ideal, we must not actually bury. So some of the questions I'll just try to. Necessary instructions to practice absolute brahmacharya. So definitely it's not easy. So the easiest way to actually practice self-control is to superimpose Divine Mother on every woman you see. You see, brahmacharya means it's a self-control basically. The restriction of indriya, right? Conquering the indriyas. Now they are not in our control, they're just running the way they wanted to run towards the objects of the senses. But this is a slavery. When you realize that this slavery I don't want to undergo, I want to master myself. I want to have that kind of free will where actually my mind, my senses should go only when I wanted them, when I direct them, not that when they direct me. I don't want to follow the dictates of my senses. When you realize this inner slavery, then actually you will struggle, to overcome that slavery. Then spiritual life really begins for you. Then you will wrestle with your mind. And one day it doesn't happen. In 2 days it doesn't happen. 1 month doesn't happen. 1 year it doesn't happen. One life it may not happen. It doesn't matter. But you will strive and struggle. One day you will become enlightened. You will get complete mastery over the senses, over the mind. And then that is the nirvana. That is nirvana. Okay, it may take long time, but it's worth, enduring the pain involved in that, and what I'm displaying that perseverance that is required, because we are here only for that purpose. You become the salt of that. Those few individuals who really seek truth, heart and soul, they are the real salt of the earth. They become supremely dear to the Lord. Okay. How do we forgive ourselves for all the things we could not become and come out of the vicious cycle of self-hatred? The self-hatred and self-pity are the worst enemies of ourselves, worst enemies of human beings in this modern world. When you hate yourself, you won't be able to love others for sure. So the first thing, actually, you forgive yourself. To err is human, we all know this. Okay. And Swamiji says, actually, never mind failure, they are the beauty of life. A cow doesn't lie. A cow is a cow. And no animal tells lies, right? We human beings tell lies. Okay. We learn from our mistakes and we grow. We have to have that kind of attitude, and you should be kind to yourself first before being kind to others. That's very, very important. And Swamiji makes a beautiful statement, Swami Vivekananda. Humanity is not traveling from error to truth. Humanity is traveling from truth to truth. You may have the question, well, how can there be a journey from truth to truth? You are already in truth. Swamiji, because of his infinite compassion he has in his heart, he said this statement. So the moment you classify something as error, or something as mistake, something as sinful, you won't be able to forgive yourself. That's why there's nothing like sin in this world, only lower truth to higher truth. As there cannot be any journey from truth to truth, Swamiji said, you may put it in this way, humanity starts from lower truth to higher truth. So-called sensory enjoyment, so-called addictions, so-called compulsions, there are lower truths, but they're not sinful acts. Don't ever classify as something as sin. Where the moment you classify something as sinful and you have done that act, and you won't be able to forgive yourself. The lower truth, that's all. It doesn't give you complete happiness. It gives you only little drops of happiness. But basically what you are seeking is, you are seeking infinite peace and infinite happiness. Infinite happiness, it doesn't lie in these limited sensory things. Okay, you will experience them. This is also one kind of experience. They only give you limited joy and limited happiness. That too for a limited period of time, because body doesn't last long. So what is the permanent? How can I get permanent happiness and eternal peace? Then actually the struggle begins, that you will try to restrain your indriyas, and ultimately one day you will conquer your mind, you will attain nirvana. If not today, tomorrow. We're all tomorrow's Buddhas, If not today, tomorrow we all will become Buddhas. We go back to our source and we will get in total fulfillment. Nobody will be, left out. Everybody will reach the goal. It's just a question of time. When you want to realize God, when you want to go to God. Because we got this human instrument, our Rishi says that, actually say that this is the supreme, prize, like supreme gift you have got from God. What is that? Human birth, that too on a soil like India and the spiritual land, and that too human body. Human body on a spiritual soil like India, the rare gift of God. Having got such a rare gift, are you making actually good use of this? That is the question. By our education systems, our aspirations of people around, friends and parents, they may not be in the right direction. You all know that actually they are not actually having great time here. They're not experiencing life in a great way. We all know that. So then who are our role models? People like Vivekananda, people like Rama, people like Buddha. We have great role models here. In fact, our schools and colleges, or parents or relatives, they must have studied them, they must be studying them, and they must have shown these people as our true role models in life. India would have been a different India by now if we had taken these role models. Our own culture has produced these great souls, but we have ignored them, unfortunately, in the name of secularism. All the great teachings of the scriptures, of these sages of India, who invested so much of time, to know the truth, to crack the mystery of the universe. Lifetimes of investment, that is. Okay, they made and then they found out the truth. And then they told us the ultimate truth. Okay, what is the ultimate truth? Actually, ahimsa paramo dharma, he said. Why? Because every life form that you see around you is part of you. So by violating any life form, actually, you're violating yourself. By harming any other life form, you are actually harming your own interest, spiritual interest. You will not progress spiritually. And that's the reason we are asked to practice that absolute non-violence. And the process, the race has become the gentlest of all the races. That's what Vivekananda says. And he says, I'm proud of my race because my race has been the gentlest of all the races in the world. So now when you see the wars that are going in the world, what is that happening there? In the Middle East war, if you just see, the missiles are actually that side and this side are exploding every second day, every second. What is that? It is the Dveshagni, right? The external Agni that you see, the fire you see, that is the Dveshagni in the heart of the human beings. Why should I hate my fellow human being because he lives across the border? He may belong to a different faith. Okay? Because the moment you generate any negative emotion, like hatred actually, over a period of time, actually, hatred is poison, you are destroying yourself. So in India, we have been told and we have been taught time and again that all life is one. If you make a distinction between life and discriminates against any life, you are harming your own spiritual interest. So develop this Advaita consciousness that all life is one. And then understand that treat every life form the way you want yourself to be treated. You want to be treated kindly, and so same kind of kindness, same kind of generosity you try to extend to all life forms. To do that, actually, you have to have contentment and you have to practice dispassion. Bare necessities of life, just to keep the body going, that is sufficient for me. I will never enter into competition with a human being. I just actually, so their actually happiness is my happiness. And so paropakarattham idam sariram. So by sacrificing this, I will attain to the spiritual enlightenment. This body and mind are two upadhis, two adjuncts. They are actually two inferior modifications of consciousness. When I let go my attachment to these two inferior modifications, I will get established in my real nature, which is self, which is consciousness. And people like Buddha, people like Vivekananda, they all had experience with that. In Ramayana, Rama actually, we say Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. He is a very form of dharma, a personification of dharma. How dharma can be practiced in the most trying circumstances. Rama had set himself as an example. A benchmark is set, okay, for us to follow, for us to emulate. And Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say, I have done 16 parts, okay, so that you will do at least one part of it. That means that we can't do the kind of sadhana that Sri Paramahamsa had done, definitely. We don't have that much of purity. We don't have that much of bodily and mental strength. But he said that at least do 1/16 of what I have done. your life will become blessed. You will attain enlightenment. So this is the kind of inspiration and we get from them, and these are our role models. So some other questions here actually. How do we become compassionate towards all people, evil and good alike? How do we see God in all? See, there is nothing like evil and good. Okay, there's a lesser good and higher good. That's all. Greater good. So don't something again classify as evil. There's nothing like absolute evil. Again, there's nothing like absolute good. It's only relative words. So somebody is extremely selfish. You may ask me, how can I see God in that person? You may ask me, how can I love that person? Because individual is not moral, individual, extremely selfish. That's the problem that we all face in our relative world, in the secular world. So somebody who is selfish actually is already harming his spiritual interest. He is not progressing spiritually. Okay. He has not understood the objective of life. And by being so selfish, by being so attached to his own body, okay, the upadhi is actually, he is harming his own spiritual interest. And in a person who needs to be pitied, to be shown empathy, and now you are hating the individual because he is selfish, right? His ignorance, because he is ignorant of the higher truth, actually is selfish. But you are not as selfish as that individual because you know the truth. Through unselfishness is the way. Through unselfishness, you will attain God. So this is the thing actually. Once you have this higher understanding, you will not look down upon an individual. You will try to give some helping hand. Okay. You will try to, help him actually to progress spiritually. You will gently put it across to the individual that you are harming your own spiritual interest, but you will never hate that individual. You will not look down upon that individual. So you will be able to love all, even the so-called people who are hated by others, but you won't hate that individual. And obviously that individual will follow you, all will respect you. Everybody else is condemning that individual in the society, but you don't condemn the individual. You empathize with the individual, you sympathize with the individual, and you want to, help him actually to progress on the spiritual path. So then it becomes easy. Practical tips actually to reduce ego. So when you know that actually ego is your enemy, that's actually not allowing is you to progress on the spiritual path, you'll always become humble. We have this great statement in our culture, Vidya Dadati Vinayam. So that means the more you learn, the greater the humility that you will acquire, you will possess. Because by making yourself completely empty of this lower ego, you will attain to your cosmic consciousness. That's the secret. So now you have understood the secret that you want to let go the ego. You just want to destroy it, and you just want to actually dissolve it as much as possible constantly. Not I, but thou, not I, but thou, O Lord. That should be your mantra. Okay, constantly. Sri Ramakrishna says actually, I and mine is ignorance. The more you let go this I and mine. But nowadays we see actually, when you see the discussions and the discourses that, debates and discussions that happen. If you just look at it, how many times the people are using this I? So from morning to evening, okay, so multiple times, hundreds of times probably. But they don't even know that actually by dropping that I, actually, they will become one with the supreme, one with us, creator of this universe. So once you know that actually ego is actually the obstacle, you'll be able to drop it. It won't be, such a huge problem to you. And also Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say beautifully that I am a servant of God. That kind of ego is harmless. Okay. I'm an agent of God, or I'm an upakarana, instrument in the hands of God. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna also says, Nimitta Matra Bhava Savyasachin. Oh Arjuna, drop this ego that I'm fighting. You are not fighting. You're all my instruments only. It's I who fight. I'm doing the fight. Okay, battle. You are just an instrument in my hands. Understand that. Realize that. So Nimitta Matra Bhava Savyasachin. Have this understanding that you are an instrument in my hands. So once we have this understanding, that's right understanding. How do we clear the mirror of our hearts actually? So just repeat God's name. That is the easiest sadhana available to all of us in this Kali Yuga. But most of the people do not know the potency and power of repeating God's name. Does it really cleanse our heart of all sins? Yes. It actually purifies our heart, it purifies our mind, and that is the simplest spiritual sadhana available to all. But the only problem is we lack the faith. We lack the faith, that's why we don't really take it seriously and we don't repeat God's name. So these are all the questions actually. What is the purpose of life? Could Swamiji share the thoughts on how he sees the role of Lord Krishna in the Mahabharata as God himself as opposed to, Vishnu avatar, the Lord in the Ramayana? So Krishna, we cannot actually emulate. He is actually Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, that's Purna Avatara. It's not that actually Rama is not Purna Avatara. Krishna actually had manifested that cosmic consciousness as in a human form because he had shown Vishwarupa, but Rama never did any such kind of thing, right? Krishna had shown Vishwarupa, the superhuman. And if you just see Krishna's Bali Leela, the Dathama Skanda of Srimad Bhagavatam, it comes, so many miracles he had performed. But again, because of Maya, he just covered up them. Is that real happened or it's just magic? Or maybe we had undergone some delusion. Because of that delusion in our mind, actually, we had seen whatever really we had seen. But they were in normal consciousness only. Most of the people who had seen Krishna performing those miracles had seen in normal consciousness. But Krishna, because of this inscrutable power of Maya, he made them actually forget it in no time. But he can do anything, right? Even Duryodhana, he had shown actually his Vishwarupa, and Duryodhana thought actually he was doing some magic. He's a kind of magician, he did some magic. Okay. So when you don't want to really believe, you can actually don't have to believe. But Rama actually life we can emulate. Okay. Rama's life has to be emulated, and Krishna's teachings are to be followed. That's the only difference between the two incarnations. Yeah. How do we forgive ourselves? Actually, 2-3 times it is there. How to develop the sharp focus and gigantic willpower. Repeat God's name. It will purify your mind. Swami said that it's easy to concentrate a pure mind. How to acquire purity of mind? Repeat God's name. What shall I do to make God as my best friend or guide? God is already your best friend. Only you are not aware of it. Be aware of it. That's all. So you think that actually, Holy Mother Sarada said that whenever you're in trouble, actually, always remember that I have a mother. So you always believe that actually God actually is there with you and he is your close friend. You just have to have thought that he is guiding you in every activity of your life. Once you remember him, and that's all actually. He is with you and he is guiding you. I have OCD, how to cure from it. I constantly get repetitive and negative thoughts. I felt like I don't know myself, how to overcome these, how to practice being in the present. So that's what I'm saying. Swamiji Vivekananda made a beautiful statement. He says, if a man with an ideal, makes 10,000 mistakes, a man without an ideal makes 1,000 mistakes. If a man with an ideal makes 1,000 mistakes, a man without an ideal makes 50,000 mistakes. The only problem with our society today is we don't have this higher ideal of realizing, seeking the truth and seeking God. And life has become a series of mistakes for everybody. Okay. And this OCD, all the other small problems, controlling the mind, lack of control over our own thoughts, fear, the negative emotion, insecurity. So all these things are agitating the minds of the people. We have said that in simple survival, we have complicated it enormously. And today, practically, we are not living for ourselves. We are living for the society, or we are living for the people around. And our only goal in life is to be in their good books. And they have to judge us, in a positive way. And they have to praise us. They have to, extol us. This is the slavery that I said. Don't live for others. Live on your own terms and follow your own conscience. People like Vivekananda, people like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, people ridiculed them, poo-pooed them actually, right? In the beginning. Okay, they never, but Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, people even branded him a madman. Madman, he had gone mad. He had become crazy, they said, but he never bothered. He never bothered, right? So he found all the people of that contemporary time, Calcutta, strangers. See what these people are supposed to do, what they're doing. They have become Annagata Pranas. They're only living for the sake of stomach and they don't have an higher ideal in life. Yeah, they have got such a superior instrument, human birth, and they're wasting it. That's what his conclusion was. That's what his feeling was. And they looked upon Ramakrishna Paramahamsa as a stranger. Okay? Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa looked at all the people around him except a few of his disciples and, household devotees and also sannyasin devotees. The rest of the Calcutta crowd, he looked upon them as strangers, and all the people of the Calcutta in those times, actually, they had looked upon this person as a stranger to this world. But who is right ultimately? Okay. Then people, started talking about him as a madman. And when Shivanatha Shastri, he would spread this to everybody. He had lost his brains, he had lost his brains. And then Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa heard it. One day when Shivanatha Shastri had gone to him, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa told him actually, Shastri, it seems actually you are telling everybody that I have gone mad. By constantly meditating on God day and night, you think I go crazy. And you are meditating on material and money and secular things day and night, and you are sane. Now, this is the idea, okay? Ultimately, the history proved actually who is right and who is wrong, right? Today we worship Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa across the globe, and he is our actually object of worship. We put up temples, we erect images, right? Because he actually sought truth. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa beautifully says that, I am day and night thinking of God. See, everybody is mad in this world. Who is not mad? Somebody is mad after power, somebody is mad after fame, somebody is mad after wealth, okay? Somebody is mad after something else, right? I am mad after God. The only question is whose madness is good, whose madness is better. My madness, after in the end, fetches me immortality. Your madness fetches you only death, right? Everything becomes zero, right? With death. Whatever your attainment may be in this secular world, everything you will have to leave behind. Okay. So Sri Ramakrishna was very clear, absolutely no cobwebs in his mind as to the purpose of life and goal of life. Okay, goal of life is to know God. That's all, nothing else. He lived like a beggar. He had no house of his own, though he was married. Mother Sarada Devi was his divine consort, and small room in the Dakshineshwar, which is not his own. He did not own anything and did not touch even money. In his entire lifetime, he did not touch money. Still, actually, he got his food, right? For 49 years or 15 yearly, he had lived and he got his food, right? That's actually, the responsibility of our maker God. But we live in such insecurity as to the basic survival, and it is very unfortunate. In my opinion, it's an affront to human dignity. We are living with this level of ignorance in our society, unfortunately. And yet they are thinking that we won't suffer. Okay, who else will suffer if we don't suffer with this level of ignorance? Fundamentals are not clear. What I want to tell you is, you all people have read Ramayana so beautifully, observed the ideals. Okay, the whole purpose of conducting this contest is, competition is evil. Competition, again, comparison comes. If you get good rank, you are happy. If you don't get good rank, actually, you're unhappy. Some of you might have got prize, some of you might not have got the prize. So it definitely leads to some kind of disillusionment and disappointment because you have put in a lot of effort and labor. But anyway, people only participating in various kinds of competitions, and they have these disappointments all the time. Why not actually to spread something good also? Why can't we make use of this tool called competition, right? To infuse something positive, to infuse something soul elevating. So okay, because you have read the book so seriously and so thoroughly to win, actually, to get good rank, to win the prize in this contest, you have imbibed the spirit of Rama and you've fallen in love with Rama. The nature of the book is such, whether it's Ramayana or Bhagavata for that matter, any scripture, if you read the book passionately from cover to cover, okay, multiple times, you will fall in love with the role model life that exists there. And obviously, you have fallen in love with God here. So that's our objective, that is our purpose, to make you fall in love with God. Otherwise, had it not been this contest, I am sure you would have postponed reading Ramayana. Postpone means that today in our society, there is another misunderstanding. What is that misunderstanding? All the spirituality, all this stuff has to begin after 60. There are post-retirement books they have become. Books like Bhagavad Gita, books like Ramayana, Mahabharata, post-retirement books. That's the actually level of ignorance that we have in our society. So the young brains, the best brains of the country, okay, should get exposed to the spiritual thought that their forefathers have bequeathed to them. That's our idea. And that's the objective of this Aaryajanani Trust. And also, that main work is in this area of prenatal influence. Again, actually, that is based on Swami Vivekananda. And Swamiji said that, all greatness, actually, whatever the greatness that he had attained in life, he attributes it to, actually, to his mother. Because my mother had prayed to the Lord, and she actually nurtured me in her lap, okay, by teaching me the Ramayana and Mahabharata, like Jijabai, how she nurtured Shivaji. Okay, he actually gives full credit to his mother. Okay, when he was in the womb, my mother actually led a very pious life. She thought of God and God and God alone. That's the reason he became a spiritual genius. Not because actually he had read books, not because he did little sadhana, he became that great. The prenatal influence is how powerful we all know in our culture. We have so many examples in our scriptures. Influence that Abhimanyu, how he was born, and also Prahalada was born of actually Asuric couple, right? Asura genes actually, Hiranyakashipu and Lilavati. But Bhagavatottama, greatest devotee of God, was born to an Asuric couple. How did that happen? Prenatal influence. When he was growing in the womb of the mother had spent some months actually in the ashrama of Nardamani. And Nardamani thought about the glories of the Lord to that woman who actually is pregnant. Inside the womb, actually, Prahalada was growing. And the boy actually absorbed all the thought, actually. So Lilavati would not pay that much of attention to Narada's teaching, but the boy had absorbed. That is actually the power of prenatal influence. And we have so many such examples, positive examples, negative examples. You just go through our website to understand. And tomorrow's parents, actually, we want to help you all graduate to that conscious parenting. Now, when you observe the spiritual thought before marriage, and when you start doing little sadhana, and actually when you understand the power of prenatal influence and go for conscious parenting, and you will be able to bring the best progeny for this country. Okay. Today, you want to change the society. Everybody has this idea. The society is not going well, it's not going good, and we need to transform human beings and transform individuals. Where you need to begin your effort, if at all you have to do, affect some transformation. Here, actually, it has to go happen. It has to begin. Once you become conscious parents, you'll be able to become the parents of great progeny. Your children are gods by birth. And Swamiji says, Swami Vivekananda, beautifully, man is born God or born demon. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna said, to Arjuna, Daivi Sampat Nibandhaya, I think Daivi Sampat Nibandhaya, for the sake of, for liberation, actually, the Asura Sampat. Daivi Sampat helps you to get liberation. Ma Shuchaha Sampadam Daivim Abhijatosi Pandava. Daivi Sampat Vimokshaya Nibandhaya Asuri Mata, Ma Shuchaha Sampadam Daivim Abhijatosi Pandava. O Pandava, O Arjuna, actually, grieve not. You are born with Daivi Sampat. The Daivi Sampat, Asura Sampat, actually, that's the chapter is there. So you are born with divine Sampat, don't grieve. So Swamiji says that Vivekananda, the same statement he makes, man is born God or born demon. If the child is born of prayer, he is born God. If the child is born without prayer, this great probability is that he has acquired a lot of asuric qualities. So this is what we want to really do. That's our objective of a trust and organization. We really need your cooperation, your help, because you're all, great brains, the best brains of the country. You have so much of power, talent, and genius in you. If you really want to do, you can help us a lot. We all know that. That's actually, the objective of our trust. When I've all the interviews, almost all the interviews I have followed, though actually I was not in front of the camera. So answers really were great and highly impressive. And our judges actually found it difficult to put sometimes, right questions to you, but your answers are so beautiful. You have studied so thoroughly. I really congratulate you again on your great success and victory. And others actually last 50 after 150, they might not have achieved any, prize money, but don't get disheartened or disillusioned. The prize is nothing. This 15,000-22,000 rupees, I know, is nothing. It's no money at all. Okay. But, by falling in love with Rama and by reading Ramayana so thoroughly, and, the value addition that has happened to your life, you cannot really measure it. It's invaluable. It's priceless. That I know it for sure. Thank you once again for participating in this online meeting today, for joining us. So may God bless you all. May the Holy Trio, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Holy Mother Sarada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda bless you all, friends.
Thank you, Maharaj. Those inspiring and compassionate words. Now, I would request Dr. Anupama Reddy ma'am, who is the Vice Chairperson of Aaryajanani Trust, to share some inspiring words with us. Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaste, Maharaj. Most revered Swami.
Namaste.
Namaste, Divya. Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. In spite of all the schedules that you had to be able to spend this much time with us. But here, we are all here to celebrate the victory of these genius of these young minds. We know how they are, and it reminds us of one saying of Swami Vivekananda here, Maharaj, actually. He says, give me 100 energetic young people and we can transform this country. And I think we have all of them here, right here, to be able to transform through all what is being done under your guidance. And, like Divya said, concretize the idea of Swami Vivekananda in the form of these youth contests, following with premarital, and as you said, the most important aspect of it, creating an empowered human race through prenatal influence, as told by all our scriptures and Swami Vivekananda especially. So this is, there's a wonderful team working together for this. And there's a special request from the team to address the contestants, Maharaj, to actually volunteer through their own, whichever ability, even 1 hour per week. And they're going to roll out a volunteer form where, we keep saying geniuses, but they're from the best of institutions from the country. So whether it's technical expertise, social media expertise, these are just the youngsters are endowed with so much of knowledge in this. So we request and we'll roll out that volunteer form. And the last word, there's no inspiration words from me, Divya. You know, inspiration is already coming with much of fullness of heart and mind that it's all there. Only thing I would like to end with, always thinking of prayers and blessings to our donors who have actually allowed this to happen, which is Valley Lab Foundation. They're always, you know, they're so benevolent, I would say, to take care of all our work. So prayers and blessings to them too in this journey of our whole concept of Aaryajanani, which is being done by the Holy Trio's blessings and Maharaj's inspiration. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We also have our esteemed judges here. If anyone would like to share anything with the participants, please unmute yourselves. Okay, then we'll close the session here. Thank you.
Yeah, here is one doubt asked in this chat box. So regarding at Dronacharya and Ashwatthama. So Krishna asked actually, the Pandavas actually to tell that lie, Ashwatthama hataha kunjaraha. So because Krishna actually had to bring victory to the Pandavas without himself wielding any weapon. The other side of the Pandavas, the Kaurava side, the Bhishma, Karna and Drona. The three were actually formidable fighters there. As long as there is a weapon in their hands, except Krishna, the Lord, nobody else would be able to vanquish them, the battle. Because they were true to their own dharma. We all know how Karna was killed. As long as there was a weapon in his hand, Arjuna could not actually vanquish him. And same, Bhishma, how actually Krishna eliminated him actually. Must go to him and ask him to tell the secret of your death actually. So Bhishma, out of infinite compassion, actually comes out. You should bring Shikandi, actually, I will drop the weapon. And in Dronacharya case, because he was such a follower of Swadharma, okay, the only way to bring victory and to remove him from the battlefield is this. His weaknesses is not very, attached to his son. The moment he hears that his son is dead, actually, he will lose all his heart to fight the battle. And that's why technically it's right? He did not tell a lie technically, but in spirit, actually, he had lied, definitely, right? So when Ashwatthama ataha kunjaraha, he heard only Ashwatthama ataha, they trumpeted very loudly, they said it. And suddenly they lowered the voice, kunjaraha, okay? And then actually that little voice also got drowned because they started trumpeting. Definitely they followed truthfulness only in letter, but not in spirit. That's the question. Is it not right on part of Krishna to give such a advice? There is a saying that, diamond, you have to cut only diamond. Okay. So there are actually almost dharma and adharma is going just like that. In gold also, we say that gold, to make it malleable, little alloy is added. Sometimes in this world, actually, things are like that. So the Lord himself said, but you have to understand that Krishna, actually, the Lord is so mischievous. Afterwards, when Krishna was trying to console Yudhishthira after the battle was over, so much of bloodshed had happened, all his cousins were dead, and Dharmaraj actually, so Yudhishthira was unwilling to take up the throne. This much of loss has happened, okay? So, okay, maybe Duryodhana was greedy. I could have actually given him the land. I could not have asked for half of the kingdom. How much actually we need just to survive, okay? Then why did I go for the war at all in the first place? So Yudhishthira was actually full of repentance and he was unwilling to take up the throne. And Krishna tried to say something. No, we tried our best actually to prevent the war, but that did not happen. Now you forget that and take the reins. But he couldn't convince. He couldn't convince Yudhishthira because Yudhishthira was not listening to Krishna because Krishna only made him tell that white lie, kind of lie. So that's why sometimes, you can't really explain all these things. Rama was so passionate about practicing the truthfulness, but in Krishna Avatara, Their Pandavas and the Kauravas were almost in equal, because that side Drona was there, Karna was there, Bhishma was there, Duryodhana went for battle. And Krishna actually, without wielding the weapon, actually, he had to bring victory to the Pandavas. And there was no other option. Okay. In when battle, actually, sometimes, that is justifiable, it becomes, they say. So that's why they followed truthfulness only in letter, but not in spirit at that point of time. Yeah, that's the only explanation that I have. If you have better explanation, you have to seek explanation on your own. Mona Garu, would you like to throw some light on this? Amma, Giriyamma, yes. So,
Divya, we might have to unmute Mohan sir and Girija ma'am.
No, I thing to say.
so I think children are happy to see you. That time during the interview, they had seen you.
Pranams Maharaj, and good morning, good afternoon to everybody. It was a wonderful session. We enjoyed. Yeah. I think the way Swamiji has cleared the doubts of the youngsters, I think really they will appreciate this, sure. And it was educative for us too. Just I wanted to share with Swamiji that and also Dr. Anupama Garu, recently I had an occasion to meet Dr. K.I. Varaprasad Rao Garu of Shanta Biotechs. And I mentioned about Aaryajanani program to him. He was, as it is, he is Shanta Biotechs, it's named after his mother, and Matruvandana Karyakram and all. He does so many programs for the women empowerment and women. So when I mentioned about the Aaryajanani, he was very much keen, and he said, yes, Mohan, we will discuss about this sometime. So Dr. Anupama Garu or others, we can go sometime and meet Dr. Varaprasad Rao if we want to associate with Shanta Biotechs. That's the...
Sure.
And at Vijayawada, of course, I'm putting my friends onto Swamiji so that they will get the benefit, direct benefit.
Yeah, I'm buying little time actually. I will start it here definitely. I'm sick.
So I think Maharaj, there's been request by the contestants that they would like review sessions to answer other questions. I think that's a very, very important decision that we have to make for them, because these sessions are so educative, in the real sense education for spirituality or cultural empowerment of the young minds of India. So I think we will make a decision, Maharaj, based on your availability, whether we can offer more sessions like this, and they could probably encourage other friends also to join. Because these are sessions which need to go to every person who's willing to invest their own system into this to become a better individual and empower themselves.
Sure, I have time. I am free only, but they are busy now. They are very, very busy bugs. They are all busy with their academics, because now, because for the sake of contest, actually, they took some time off their busy schedules and read it. But from next time onwards, our contest content will not exceed 100 pages, 110. But this Ramayana actually, whole story has to be 24,000 slokas. Such a big story. Valmiki Maharshi has written in 24,000 slokas to condense it into a small book form. So Rajaji has done a great job. Very, succinctly he has explained the whole story. So that's why I think it's 200 pages, because the story, I think you could read it. But hereafter, actually, mostly on Swami Vivekananda's teachings, the contest we would like to conduct, and content will be only 100 pages to 100 pages. Because the religion proper, today we have, some question has come actually, right here in that. So we have rituals, we have pilgrimages and all those things, but most of us, we do not know Sanatana Dharma proper. Okay. So we think we are religious, we are practicing our religion well. No, we are only in the surface. Okay. This is only kindergarten religion, what we are practicing is. Okay, Swami Vivekananda beautifully says, better to be born in a church, but not to die thereof. Okay, we are actually kindergarten. We have to grow. We have to go to high school, and then you have to go to college and university. So this religion proper, reading the scriptures and changing and transforming our character, putting those great ideals into practice is religion proper. Now you have come to, graduate and you have become postgraduate in, spirituality. Otherwise, just a little ritual, same worldly desires and just, going to a temple and baking a coconut and doing a ritual there and praying to God actually for some, if we want to fulfill some wishes and desires, holy desires, that's all kindergarten religion. Okay, God is within you, own heart, you have to experience God, and in this birth itself, it should happen. That is the kind of ambition, desire you should have. Then a beautiful personality will come out of you, will emerge out of you. You will become a Mahatma. So the objective is to expose you to the religion proper through this contest. And once again, thanks, to all these great brains who have participated in today's online meeting.
Can we make it, as Dr. Anupama has mentioned, can we make it as a regular event, maybe once in 2 weeks or once in a month on different subjects? And it could be in the public domain. More people can join.
Yeah. We can open it up to all the applicants whoever actually has applied for the contest actually. So anybody can join. Yeah, that we can do. Fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
So your next topic can be Yoga Vashishtam.
Oh, all right. But that is a huge book, that 32,000 sloka. So
No, we can do the first portion, some portion. A summary portion, summary of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Very nice to see you, Swamiji.
Nice, nice to see you also. Nice to see you all. Namaste, namaste, namaste.
Vidya will end with a prayer.
Thank you. Thank you all. Now, since we are already beyond the time, we'll close this here with a prayer. Close your eyes. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.